So, fucking Hobbit. Battle of 5 fucking armies. Or, this film was bred for one purpose.
Will you follow me? One last time.
Ourselves to see a little bit.
Yeah.
I couldn't feel more indifferent about having done that, to be honest, actually. It was 2.5 hours of bore. I couldn't believe how shit it was as a film, to be honest. And testament to that, I watched the first half of Fellowship of the Ring.
Alright.
Like, the day after.
I was going to do that yesterday.
And I was like, this is 100 billion times better.
It's like a different filmmaker did it.
Yeah.
It's just funny, isn't it, really? It feels like such a step backwards.
Yeah. Just, I want to do like a side-by-side comparison. If I have enough effort in me, energy in me, to when I'm doing this video, I might put together 2 shots. I was thinking like 2 good shots is just straight away is like the dragon flying around and destroying that town at the start.
Yeah.
You know, you see it go like that. It looks really stupid. Yeah. It doesn't look good. Like, it just doesn't. And then you've got in the first.
It literally is.
And in the Fellowship of the Ring, you've got Gandalf fighting that massive whatever it is in the mines.
Oh, the fire.
The fire thing, or is
Monster.
it the? Oh no, it's the start of the 2 towers, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You get that like zoomed out shot.
Like a really long shot.
You see it like falling in the cave. Massive.
It gives
epic.
it gives a real sense of the scale and.
It looks real because it's a miniature.
Yeah.
It just looks insane.
It looks really good.
The music is epic in that bit as well. And I'm like side by side with those 2, just to be like, what the fuck happened?
Okay, so my opinion of the film is pretty much very similar to yours actually, but just to go into more detail, if I'm going to sort of set out what I didn't like about it, and there are literally 1 or 2 things I didn't mind about it.
My favourite scene was when Gandalf was riding the horse, and it was about 5 seconds long. That was the best bit.
Okay, one of the many gripes I have with this film, first and foremost, is like the overuse of CG. I mean, that's plain and simple. I don't understand why there was so much CG used, especially with the like the orcs or goblins or whatever they are. That's all they did, it seemed, and they might have used. Like, I'm pretty sure they did use like the like the motion capture stuff they did with Gollum. I think they used that for a couple of the monsters or whatever.
Oh, the bigger guy, definitely.
Yeah, but like generally, it just felt really.
It just looks really soulless.
Yeah, it looks really hollow. There's like, it's that thing where you can, without a doubt, tell that it's CG, and it just takes away from the film. Whereas the Lord of the Rings seemed to they mixed the CG with, prosthetics and makeup and things and real actors, and that worked really well. There was like a controlled use of it. Yeah. It reminds me of like probably the difference between like the original Jurassic Park, where they used the real mixture of CG that they had at the time and
massive animatronic
and models and things, and like they did what they could, but they.
Well, to this day, isn't it? In Jurassic Park, there's that picture of is it Spielberg or whatever next to the dead, not make
Yeah.
a massive thing, and people are like on the internet, oh, he's a fucking poacher or whatever, you know, like thinking that it's a real thing. Like he's gone out and killed it. It's a
real.
model of a dinosaur. But yeah,
It's kind of a poacher.
it's
Yeah.
like animal cruelty.
Yeah, so like there's that which again that film uses it really well, and then there's, I don't know, you can sort of pick any kind of modern blockbuster these days where there's no control or like restraint in the use of it, and it just kind of look rubbish basically. And, like, it's got to a point where CG isn't amazing anymore, and it's just not something that you, I don't know, marvel at. I think like especially when the first Lord of the Rings films came out, they had those shots of the armies, you know, like thousands of like orcs or elves or whatever, like running across the battlefield. Yeah, that looked amazing. But you know,
but again, it's like, why does that look amazing? And now it looks shit.
It wasn't just a CG though. I think like that was also backed up with, you know, like firstly,
like it was a real miniature with real, like they must have filmed some real people and then
they duplicated them.
Yeah, and digital.
And to be fair as well, there was more gravity to like the reason why these people were fighting. But that goes into like the story, and that's what that is. But yeah. So basically, there's just way too much CG for my liking, and that kind of ruined it in a big way for me. I don't know. The other thing as well is it kind of just felt like there was no clear point in this film. You know, it sort of drifted from this dragon attacking like a village or a town or whatever to, you know, a very kind of like weird and loose reason for this big battle. It kind of just,
it doesn't really explain like why they're all like, I understand like it's the gold, they're all after the gold, but
why do goblins want gold?
But why do they want gold in this, you know, in this world?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, what are they all going to do with it anyway?
Yeah. So
it just seems really, really weird.
Yeah.
5 massive armies all suddenly know the dragon is dead, and all converge.
Yeah. Again, I suppose this goes into the story a bit, like, or at least how it's been adapted with Jackson's films. That, like, the book is, like, first and foremost, I've read the book like a few times, and it's like a really small, like, quaint fairy tale kind of book, and you don't really have to worry about those kind of details. But the way Jackson has adapted it, he's tried to make it like this big epic thing that fits in with the Lord of the Rings, and it doesn't quite work that well because they're two kind of very different styles of stories, you know. This one's meant to be quite a nice little story about a hobbit who's taken out of his comfort zone, you know, goes on an adventure and kind of learns about himself, you know, and it's not
I never got the sense that he's the main character.
Yeah.
Never. Like, he's barely like there, really.
He gets lost in it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, for the first...
I think it would have been way better if it just followed him.
For the first bit, you don't see him at all even in this film. For the first, like, 10 or 20 minutes where the dragon's doing whatever he's doing.
And he, like, his main bit is just, you know, he has a main key bit in the story, but really, he's kind of just there, like...
Yeah.
He's not really... It's just battles.
Yeah.
And a note on the battles, Jesus, did everyone die easily, other than the main characters? Like, he walks and whatever, one hit, dead.
Yeah.
It looks stupid.
Yeah.
And again, when I rewatched Fellowship, I was like, I wonder if it's the same with this film. And it's like, no. Like, they at least always it's like one hit and then like, oh, and then like I'm gonna murder you. Not just, oh, you're dead.
Yeah, I did actually watch a few scenes from the Two Towers because I kind of felt there was like a link between the battle in the Hobbit, whatever, and the big battle in the Two Towers, where basically there's like these villages, aren't there, in the Two Towers that are sort of in this castle hiding. This massive army outside trying to kill them. And it's kind of like that in this film, where there are some villagers from this town or whatever that are kind of forced to fight this goblin army or whatever. And in the Two Towers, they make a point of being like, oh, you know, shit, we're like basically old people and little boys. We're gonna have to fight these like fucking massive like orcs or whatever with like this huge armor on, and we're gonna get fucked up.
Yeah.
And like even like during the film, like to the battle scene, like you see like these like boys who are like 14 or 15, and these old men like getting their asses kicked by these massive things that just like smashing their faces in basically.
Yeah.
Whereas literally by comparison in this film, there's like a 9-year-old who just goes
takes them out,
and then like they're dead. And it's like
no,
like the worst things ever.
Yeah.
Like if they're bred for one purpose, they're shit.
Yeah. Just like
They're fucking awful. Like I don't understand why they'd be. Why are they a threat if 9-year-olds can kill them?
Yeah.
Or old people. Okay, so my final big gripe,
right.
okay, is about the story, and I kind of touched on it already, but just the way, and this goes across all 3 films now, but the way that the writers and producers and Peter Jackson as well, I guess, have just absolutely stretched out this like material, like The Hobbit, to the point at which they've added in so much crap. Basically,
well, it's weird to have a film on a book where you rather than being like, oh, they missed out this and they missed out this, it's like, oh, they added in this and they did this and there's this extra, and it seems wrong, I think, almost.
Yeah.
Isn't it better to reduce down the content than to flesh out so much that it's 3 long films?
What it reminds me of in a really big way is whenever I've had to write assignments or essays, basically to reach a word limit, I just add in so much crap, and I kind of feel like they did
a 2-word sentence into a 10-word sentence.
Yeah. It's like I just like stretch out everything as much as possible, whereas they're stretching out one book into 3 films, and it just doesn't work because there's just not enough material there, you know. And it really shows in this last film where there's not much left to tell. You know, they've already sort of done the bulk of the story, and you know, it kind of just really shows that there's really weak characters left, and there's like very little characterization in this, and it's kind of just shit.
Yep.
Kind of painful, really.
I think the biggest thing about it all, at the end of the day, is it's just disappointing after Lord of the Rings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a kind of a letdown after the like quality, basically. Everything feels like this was made by like a different filmmaker, like the B team at the CG company that they use. It's just disappointing. That's it. That kind of sums it up, really. Although I did think about this, and I wondered whether, like, firstly, I'm being quite harsh on it because I've got quite a lot of love for that, like that universe, I guess, because I've read the books and I sort of know how I want it to be, and the way the Lord of the Rings was made was exactly how I wanted it to be, and this is not
at all.
Yeah, and I think that because I know the books, I'm going to be harsher on it. So
but
maybe
then it's like, well, when we do Hunger Games, like I've read the books. So I've got an entirely different view on that, I think, than this.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know, like maybe people that haven't read the books will not mind or care, or they'll think this is fine. I've heard people say that they really like enjoyed this film and they enjoy the Hobbit films, but
I haven't read the Hobbit or the other books.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you saying that walking out of the cinema that you felt this film was just really poorly made in general. Like there were so many aspects that
it's
stuck out.
It's messy and it's like visually weird, and like again, if you compare it to Lord of the Rings, it's like visually it kind of looks like it's soft focus and kind of saturated and weird, and it just doesn't look nice. It doesn't look good.
I mean, on that, do you remember in the film I actually pointed out to you that the makeup on one of the dwarves.
It was horrible.
What was it?
The bald or the half bald one. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, one of the main ones who goes and fights with Thorin,
whatever his name is.
The king under the king under the mountain, or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
They go and fight on this mountain that's got ice on it or something. The one who's bald, the makeup or whatever they used to sort of simulate him having a bald head.
Yeah, rather than shaving his head.
Yeah.
They gave him a cap, didn't they?
Yeah, basically gave him a cap and tried to like blend
but
it in.
It looks.
And I
really
pointed out,
fucking obvious.
and I was like, oh my god, I can see where they've done that, and that is like for that to show
Well, it's
in a
kind
film this big with this much budget, like that's pretty bad. Or the fact they didn't pick up on it anyway during
well, it's
editing.
no different. I was saying to Charlotte, like the feet on the Hobbit, they don't look right in this film.
They look fine in the.
They look
Rings,
really good in Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
They look natural, but it looked like he's wearing slippers.
Yeah.
There's slippers you can get that are like really big and
just there's just loads of little things like that, and it just makes it so disappointing.
Yeah, I kind of feel. I think what makes it disappointing is it feels like all these things could have been avoided as well.
Yeah, because they've done it before. That's why.
Yeah, all these issues could have been sorted or done, and it kind of feels like more than anything these set of films were done as a kind of cash grab.
Most likely.
You know, I wouldn't say that these films in general are bad films, because I've seen a lot worse. They're just disappointing from a perspective of someone who loves the Lord of the Rings, who enjoys that universe.
My final point I want to make though is that this film entirely lost me when Billy Connolly showed up.
That was his name, wasn't it? I knew it was something Connolly.
When he showed up, this film lost it. I lost it as well.
With like
I couldn't stop laughing.
ridiculous accent.
Like, when did this become Shrek?
Donkey!
Because literally he turns up on like a fucking boar or whatever he is riding. And
this boar was bred for one purpose.
Bastards! He's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
When did Lord of the Rings become a comedy?
Yeah.
With someone who swears a lot.
Yeah.
And is Scottish.
Yeah, it was a bit weird.
What?
I kind of felt that they kind of used him because he was Scottish, and they have the thing where the dwarves, for some reason, are all Scottish.
At that point, I was like, that's it. It's lost all credibility. It's lost. I'm done. I'm done, and I'm not going to rate this film.
There were a couple of things I didn't like.
Worthy of rating.
There were a couple of things I will say I didn't mind. If I didn't like The Hobbit, like the book, if I didn't care about that being changed and manipulated to make this film, then I would probably think that the fighting at the end, that the big fight between these people was kind of cool. If I was like a 10-year-old, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of cool. You know, like the lightsaber fights in the Star Wars prequels, like they're kind of shit, but you're like, oh well, I get it. You know, I get it. And the last 20 seconds where literally the very, very end, where there's like a crossover between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship, where Bilbo is old again and he's he's just basically been thinking about this story, is like the idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, like that's probably the best way they could have literally ended the film. I was like, okay, that tiny fraction of this film I actually really liked. So out of a trilogy of maybe 8.5 hours of film, I liked about 20 seconds, for sure. So
I'm rating this
you would not recommend this film then?
No, it's fucking stay away, don't bother. Just watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
just leave it at that. Don't bother.
I am never going to see this film again, or any of the Hobbit films again.
No, I forced myself to watch the second one on Netflix before this one, and that was a mistake as well.
I didn't even want to see this one. I only did because we were going to do this review of it.
Yeah.